So I'm finally on my way to pick up my truck cap. I'm very excited about it. We've been waiting for this for a long time. Tiny house prepper.
The destination is on your left. Arrived.
Hey everybody, I'm Bill with Tiny House Prepper, and I'm very excited to be able to getting the truck cap. I ordered this about a month ago. Seems like it's been a lot longer than that. But they custom make them for each individual truck and color match them and everything like that. So I got a call a couple of days ago, and now I'm here to have it installed. Now when he was installing this, there was a problem at the factory and he was not happy. When they cut the flare here for the door, they cut it too narrow this way. And when he closed the door, it hit here, it hit on here, and it wouldn't close all the way. This bottom part had to be flared out that way more. Same thing on the other side, had to be flared out that way more. So he had to take the cap off, and he took the door out, and then he had to cut this fiberglass underneath a little bit wider and then put the door back in. And as you can see, now it works perfectly. But I'll show you the process here of what he had to do. So there's the spot right there. It comes straight down, and then it flares.
Yep.
So it just needs to be cut, that little flare.
All I need is a little tit off this bottom. That's it. It don't even have to be. See, that'll hold that frame.
Yeah.
So all I need is a little tit right off here. I don't even have to cut it up that far.
Yeah, that flares on both sides like that.
Right. So that's it. Yeah.
So now it's fixed. The gap here is correct. This is even bigger on the inside than I had hoped because it's really tall. I'm going to be able to fit a lot of stuff in here. I can climb in there and I won't be completely bending over. I can, you know, kneel. I mean, I can stand up a little bit instead of completely kneeling and squatting and all that. So I'm very happy. There is an interior light right here. It's pretty bright, LED, I guess. The only thing is that only works when the lights are on, when the parking lights are on. And that makes sense because all the wiring was done. I don't know if you can see that there. See, all the wiring is here, and he just plugged it right into the lights in the back, and there is no hot power in the back. The power is only on when the lights are on. So that means I only have an interior light when the parking lights are on. So that'll be fine to have a light in here if I'm loading and unloading something at night. But if I'm actually going to be sleeping in here, it's not going to work. So I'll just have to use a solar powered Lucy light. I've got several of them, something like that. If we should ever decide to actually start using this as a camper, which is a possibility, and actually sleep in the back, then I'll have to do some additional wiring, and I would probably put in 1 or 2 interior lights plus a couple of power outlets so we can charge cell phones and stuff like that back here. But at this point, that's not really the plan. This is just sort of an emergency overnight sleeping area if we need it, if we don't have the cottage with us. So anyway, I am just very pleased with it all. It also has a liner up here, and it looks very nice. It gives it much more of a finished feel. Probably insulates a little bit too. The liner was like a $200 extra, but I had a coupon for a free liner when you bought the new one during the month that I bought it in. So that was cool. I got a free liner. And that probably helps a little bit with, insulation and stuff like that, as well as it just looks nicer. There's a window on each side that opens. Nice big window. And it's got a screen in it. So we can open those windows and it'll be nice and cool for sleeping. The only thing I didn't like is that I would have liked to have put a roof vent up here. And not only do they not do it, but they say if you put one in, it violates the warranty. You're not allowed to put one in. So that's kind of disappointing. But these windows are big enough. I think I'll get some good ventilation through there, even without the roof vent. And it has its own built-in third brake light. Now, one thing that kind of disappointed me about this truck when we first bought it was the gas mileage. I've never owned a pickup truck before, and I knew that they were not very good mileage, but this is worse than I was expecting. I was expecting maybe 16, 18. When first time I tested this on the highway, I got 13.4, which was really disappointing. So I'm hoping that this cap is going to help with that. The theory is that yes, it increases the it makes it more aerodynamic because you don't have the wind coming down from the cab into the bed and then getting stuck in the tailgate there. So it's supposed to make it more aerodynamic and maybe raise the mileage 1 or 2 miles per gallon. When I talked to the guy who was putting it on, I asked him about that, and he said, well, that's the theory, but whether it really works or not, I don't know. So I'm excited to see and to test, and maybe I can get 15 instead of 13. That would be good. But I think that when I pull a trailer, I think this is going to help a lot, because normally when I pull a trailer, I'm expecting, I haven't tested it yet, but I'm expecting to get maybe 7 or 8 miles to the gallon. And it seems to me that without the cap, the wind would come over the cab down into the bed and then hit the flat wall of the front of that trailer, and it would be like pulling a sail. Now this is kind of an airfoil that will push the wind up over the trailer instead of getting the turmoil caught down in the bed. It just seems to me that that's going to help a lot with the mileage when I'm pulling the trailer. However, since I've never pulled the trailer without the cap and tested the mileage, I have no way to know if it increased it. But at least that's the theory, and that's what I'm hoping it's going to do. But if it does, I'll never know unless I take the cap off and test it that way. I don't think I'm going to do that. This is very tight right here between the cap and the cab, and if that back window gets dirty, there's no way to get in there and clean it. So inside here, I got this window removable. Paid an extra $100 for this removable window, which is kind of expensive, but it'll allow me to clean this window and the inside of this window. Also, if it's really hot, I can remove that window right there if I'm sleeping, remove that window, and it'll give that much more ventilation. It's just that it doesn't have any kind of screen in it. I might be able to do some kind of makeshift screen or something like that. But I think it's $100 for an extra removable window is kind of expensive, but you only spend it once and then you always got it. So there you go. I also have this U.S. Army retired sticker on the back window of my truck, which you can no longer see from the back now that the cap is on. So I'm going to have to get another one to put on the back of the cap. So the cost of the cap was $1,800, and then I spent an additional $200 to get that extra tall part, and then it was another $100 for that removable front window. So altogether, including tax, it was $2,146. Now I know many of you are going to say, well, you could have found one used or whatever. I spent a long time looking through Craigslist, looking through several junkyards in the area, trying to find a used one. The trouble is, this is an 8-foot bed. There are just not many trucks on the road anymore with 8-foot beds, because all of them have king cabs or 4-door, and their beds are 5 feet or 6 feet. Trying to find an 8-foot bed, there just wasn't one. Several people said, well, you could have built one yourself. With your skills, you could have built one. Yeah, I could have, but it would have been heavier, and no matter what I did, it would have looked homemade. So I'm just very happy with this. I think it makes the truck look really slick. We're planning on keeping this truck for quite a few years, so I think it was a good deal. I'm very happy with it. So what do you think, dear one? Is this going to work?
This is just beautiful. They did a beautiful job on it. Oh my goodness, this thing just turned into like a terrific storage, big van carrying, utilitarian, someplace to sleep in a pinch, amazing thing.
A lot more versatile, a lot more usable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're thrilled to death with it.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. It's going to make it so much better. I mean, that way you can go pick up that stuff for my mom too. This thing will carry a lot.
Right, yeah, it will.
Excellent.
So,
I'm pretty excited.
So there it is, our new truck cap. Thank you for watching, everybody. We really appreciate you. Go ahead and like the video if you like it, and subscribe, and you know, all that stuff.
You say be blessed.
Be blessed.
Love you guys.
Bye.
We'll see you later.